Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Vortex Racing Network production of the Bonfire Premier Cup. That's right, the Bonfire Racing League comes live to Kansas Speedway for the KU Rock Chalk 225. Thank you out there, Sam Milliken, sponsoring today's race. Too wide in the booth today, Bean G Money. I've got Smokin' Joe doing all the dirty work for us. Can't wait to see race number 3 in our 13 race season. Joe, getting a little smoky on the track too, isn't it?
Yeah, we're gonna have a really big one here today. You could look at that track temp, man. I think the the track surface of the sun maybe we're heading towards 113 degrees out there right now, and we're right now heading into the hottest part of the day for practice, qualifying, and the race. So it might be a hot one out there for these boys.
Tires going to be at a premium. League officials have given 5 sets of tires, 1 on the car, 4 in the pits. We're expecting to get about 44 laps of fuel on a green flag run. Be fascinating to see, though, if the tires are going to last that long. Let's talk about last week, Joe. Last week we were at Charlotte, and we saw Brandon Shelton lay down the law, led the most laps, wins the race, punches his ticket into the playoffs. Just a great display of skill by Brandon Shelton last week at Charlotte.
Yeah, great job by him to get the win last week. We'll see what happens this week. He did a really good job, though, there, of course, last week at Charlotte. Can't give him enough props for getting out there, going out there, beating the best in the series, and getting a win there in the Focum 225 for his team, Team Focum.
Exactly. And so far we've had 2 races. The opener, the Puckett 200, and David Medina won that one for Focum. Punches his way into the playoffs. Brandon Shelton last week at Charlotte. So it's a Focum kind of feeling here in the Bonfire Race League. This week, of course, many faces coming back. Landry not going to put up with that foolishness. New driver Joe Volpus, new to Animal House Customs, that is. He's out there ready to make a mark. Last time we were here 2 years ago, season 12, Jared Kelly, the double nickel, led the most and got a nice second place finish. David Medina won last time, and Jason Landry got third. No surprise to hear those names. Those are like the triple threat of this league. You can see the points up standings right now. It's early in the season, though, Joe, but you know me, it's never too soon for me to talk about playoff implication.
Yeah, we're looking at the early part of the season here. Of course, the top 12 make the playoffs, and the win and in situation as well makes things, it gives it a real twist as well. You can see both of our winners so far this year, David Medina Sr., Brandon Sheldon, are both right now top 12 in the points after Sheldon moved up 13 spots last week. So right now, Jake Johnson's holding on to that last spot by 1 point. However, I don't think he's here for today's race.
Yeah, unfortunate. Jake not going to make the race. He might still be in the hospital after that hard hit that he took on just last week. I think that was a Monday night wreck. So hopefully Jake okay, but he's not going to be here on the track today. Last week, of course, Matt Schofield missing, dropping him down multiple points. Matt is here, though, for this race. Also, remember, team standings as well. Gulf Coast Racing, they took the title last year. Currently, though, they find themselves in third, trying to chase down Focum up at the top, and Animal House Custom Racing with a new roster. They find themselves up in second. Ignition Point going to be in fourth. Pony Up in fifth. Rough week for them last week as Gambrel, Clausen both had wrecks, found themselves out of it. Practice underway, qualifying soon to take place here at Kansas. Lots of quick cars out there. Outside lane, inside lane, middle lane. Seems to be 3 different lanes you can run, but it matters how much you love your tires.
Yeah, so we're going to just see how this all plays out, of course, as well for everybody. You know, you can see the practice times here. Ricky Mandela Sr. laid down that lap time at the very opening of practice. So that's why you see him so far ahead of everybody else. Practice times, not really, pretty much kind of like in real life when we go to a place like Richmond, where the track is at its best at the start of the practice session, and it gets worse as the rubber lays down. So these practice times are not really going to be very indicative of who's going to be fast and who's not today.
Well, and plus you got to think about how the strategy is going to go as we go on here. I don't see we're going to see too many people thinking they're going to get fuel only, but right sides only, that might be on the table depending on how you can split up these stages. Qualifying underway. There's David Medina, week 1 winner. David also won at Kansas just 2 short years ago. When we found ourselves there for the Premier Cup. Medina, of course, a multiple-time series champion, but a little bitter taste in his mouth. Jason Landry, magical season last year as he took the championship. So you know David Medina would love to get his team and that number 9 back on top. Decent laps there right now for Medina, but he's going to have to come up with a little bit more speed if he's going to try to get rid of Jason Landry.
Yeah, it looks like right now he's still on his warm-up lap, so coming around this time for his first hot lap. We'll see what he's able to do. Landry, though, at the top of the board, ran a really good lap, 33.52. What a great run from him here to open up qualifying, and it looks like Medina is about a 10th off. That's going to put him in 3rd place for right now. The one thing I want to let you know, Mean Gene, though, is the first lap actually with this car looks like it's the faster lap. So these guys here on their first lap putting down their money laps for the most of them.
I was about to say, let me piggyback that by saying not only is that first lap the fastest, also look how quickly these guys got their cars out on the track. David Medina, Landry, Kelly, all these guys infamous for waiting until the last possible second to go out and get their lap down. Clearly temperature in the forefront of these drivers' minds as they are getting their cars out there to make that lap as quickly as possible before things start to heat up too much. Sun is blazing down here today at the Rock Chalk 225 in Kansas, race number 3 of our 13 race regular season. Kevin Kyle out there making a few laps. Gotta love that paint scheme. It starts off white, finishes yellow. Nice little mixture of patriotic colors.
Yeah, you love the paint scheme that he's got out there. Second week in a row he's driving it. We'll see what he's able to do. He came very close last week, of course, to winning the race. If you remember there, Mean Gene, right up there, battling for the win to the end. We'll see if he's actually both races so far this season been very close to winning. Right up front, doing the best he can. I think a win for him is probably right around the corner.
Being on that Team Focum, such a great spot to be. You get the knowledge, you get the telemetry from the other strong drivers out there. You just have to appreciate that. Kevin Kyle, of course, one of the stalwarts of Team Focum. And you're right, I think this fella's just knocking on the door. You remember, he did get a cup win last year in our sister series, the Monday Night Mayhem, also here on Vortex Racing Network. He won at the iRacing Super Speedway. So Kevin Kyle has tasted victory lane. Here in the Premier Cup, though, you got to get past that trifecta of Landry, Kelly, and Medina to win. And I think Kevin Kyle is one of that handful of drivers just knocking on that door. Speaking of, how could I say a trifecta? If you were going to do a Mount Rushmore, I think this guy, David Owens, would definitely be one of the candidates. He's showing you the integrity of the track while he's out there. David Owens just multitasking today, Joe.
That was interesting to watch.
That's how you stop a car, right?
Yeah, I guess that's how you get it done nowadays.
It's qualifying, David. You can't produce a caution in qualifying. Go ahead and just take it out of there.
Yeah, looking at these guys right now, looking at the field, it looks like mostly everybody's qualified. So we're just kind of waiting to see if anybody else is going to go out. We still got 3 minutes left here in the session. For
a couple of people to talk about. Look at that number 3 car.
I don't think you can
The
look
third
at.
place. Look at the third place car
Well,
on the
yeah,
qualifying board.
we can look at him on the board there. Eric Gamble right now, third place on the board. Oh, we got somebody else coming out to qualify here. One of the heavy hitters.
Oh, gotta love seeing this guy, 73 to Justin Malarkey. You know, Malarkey, oh, he had that green, white, yellow scheme for the longest time. So nice to see him running a different paint scheme. Of course, Malarkey, a new daddy. You can see he's got the picture of the cute little baby right there. Baby's not in the car, though, so don't be calling Child Protective Services on us. Justin Malarkey is in the car by himself. But this is another guy with great speed, always knocking on the door on that top five. So we'll see what he can put here together. A little bit late in the run, though, Joe. That track temp has already jumped about 11 degrees since they started qualifying. So Malarkey, a little late to the party, but we'll see what he can do with that.
Yeah, you can see air temp up to 79 degrees, at humidity 33%. So that's definitely attributing to a higher track temp for Malarkey compared to the other guys out there. We'll see how much of an effect that really has here on his qualifying run.
And this is a good guy to make that comparison to as far as how much the speed is going to drop. Malarkey chose not to practice, though. No practice laps. So he really showing up late to the party. Going to see what he can lay down here today in the qualifying session.
Yep, it looks like he's going to have just enough time to get both of his laps in here as well. This will be the last guy to put down a lap time here today, so we'll be able to take a look at the starting results after this.
You want to go in car for this last little bit?
We can do that.
See what Justin's doing. Nice. So using that low line, that does save tires. So he's going to wiggle coming out of 4 or coming out of 2 there. I'm very familiar with that. Bringing it down. Oh, he's in the dreaded middle, Joe.
Yeah, I got to be very careful of where you end up on the racetrack. And right now, the middle is not really the best place to be, but we'll see if he's able to put down a good lap. And it doesn't look like his second lap was faster, so he's going to start in 21st place here for today's race.
Oh, and he's going to be stuck right in the middle of the Dirty Air gang, not where you want to be. That is going to wrap up qualifying. Congratulations. Looks like qualifying won by Jason Landry, and he's going to win our pole. That's the Sim Racing Nation Award to Jason Landry. Congratulations, Mr. Landry. You are the Sim Racing Nation pole position award winner. Joe, that's the end of qualifying. You know what that means.
Yep, it looks like we're going to start to get ready to kick the tires and light the fires there, Mean Gene.
Good morning, everybody. Larry McReynolds here with NASCAR and Fox. You know, America's crew chief. Welcome to the Bonfire Premier Cup Series. You know the deal. All right, all right, all right. Drivers, start your engines. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go iRacing.
Taking a page right out of DW's book right there with his boogity, boogity, boogity. All right, so drivers getting started here on the grid. Front row going to be Jason Landry. Rick Mandella's going to start in the outside of the front row. Mandela, of course, Animal House Custom driver, fastest in practice. Now he gets to test his mettle against the Canadian Jason Landry. Second row, going to be the rookie, Eric Gambrell, Pony Up Motorsports driver. Fourth place, David Medina Sr., the Folcom veteran. Brandon Shelton, going to power from last week's win, now going to start in the 5th position. Next to him will be Animal House Custom driver, the 11 Ford of Joe Vulpes. Michael Serra's going to begin in 7th in that number 27 ride. Behind him, Rick Modric going to start in 8th. Modric, a privateer, still running that 900 number. He'll have a new one next week. David Buell going to be starting on the 5th row on the inside. And David Owens, the Gulf Coast racing driver, going to start 10th outside row 5.
Row number 6, we got a couple of heavy hitters. We got Kyle Anott starting on the inside, Paul Ferdiani on the outside. Behind them in 13th, you got Kevin Kyle. Outside of him in 14th will start for David Brenner. Behind them, you got Jax Duvall and starting in 15th, Jose Medina to his outside in 16th. Row number 9, we see Jake Ashe. Too bad he's not driving that Pennzoil car anymore. He's going to start in 17th alongside Zach Clausen. Looking further on back through the field, we got Jared Kelly, uncharacteristic qualifying effort for him, starting back in 19th. He's going to start alongside the vet Jerry Rose. Starting behind them, we saw Malarkey put down his lap time, going to start in 21st. Mark Dumont returns here today. He's going to start 22nd. Last guy that put down a lap time was Todd Dunn in 23rd. And then you have your guys with no times. That'll be Schofield, Milliken, Tommy Fox, Stephen Neal, and Tim Darby is going to round out the field here for today's race.
28 drivers preparing to do battle. The field's just getting larger every week as these drivers returning from vacation and whatever else tickles their fancy as we get rolling here in season number 14 of the Bonfire Premier Cup. Jason Landry up front. He is in that blue and yellow, black, red polka dot car. Outside of him, Rick Mandela. We'll see what Mandela can do on that outside lane. We want to see how long that outside lane actually lasts here today. Rolling up, the flag drops, and away we go. Jason Landry is going to lead us into turn 1. Outside lane getting spicy. Look at Mandela trying to make it work. Gambrel decides to bring it up into the middle. That's always exciting to see a rookie inventing new lines. Coming around the backstretch into 3. They're starting to accordion there in the back as they are tightening up. Mandela going to look down low, plows up the track, forces Landry up. Landry, Mandela battling. Who's going to lead lap number 1? Momentum for Landry inside lane. Looks like Mandela's going to lead lap number 1, Joe.
Man, that would be really exciting if it wasn't for the fact that you don't get any bonus points for it anymore. Mandela working his tail off to lead that first lap. I think he would like to see that on the last lap, not the first one. Right there, Mean Gene?
Well, you are correct. The points adjusted a little bit this season.
Oh, I think we got a wreck.
Oh, they're spinning, Bobby. Look at Brenner.
Oh, no.
Looks like Brenner and maybe Jax Duvall got involved. Looks like I saw a couple of cars go for a really hard ride as well.
Yeah, you just already see one here, down here. That's towed.
Where's his front end, Joe?
I think his front end's looking about as good as his head is with hair. I think that's pretty much going to be it for Jerry Rose here today. Look at the front of that car. Oh, my goodness.
That's a start and park if I ever saw one. 180 miles an hour right into that outside wall. You know, the brake is the one in the middle, Chrome Dome. I ought to think about using that one next time. End of day for Pony Up Motorsports. Jerry Rose. Can't blame Kyle Lynott for that one, pal. Also, looked like Mark Dumont got in a little bit of trouble out there as well.
I believe he also got in the wall. I think his day might be over as well. I think Tommy Fox is just going to have to get some damage fixed, as a couple other guys as well. I think David Brenner, yeah, you can see the rear of his car pretty messed up from this wreck as well. I do believe we have a replay, so we can go back and see what happened there.
This should be exciting. I believe we're going to watch the Jacksonville Jaguar paint scheme of Duvall on the inside. Oh, and Brenner just whipped around. Jake Ashe in the 77 yellow. There's Dumont, and then, ooh, look at Rose just come up into the wall on that outside going into the turn. Let's take a ride. Look at this boy. It's like, oh, I'll just go down here. Now I'll just turn.
Oh. Look at that front end just explode. Look at Dumont. Here, we're going to get a good view of this from in the cockpit here. You can see just trying to save it, and then, oh, no.
Almost kills Malarkey.
Really tough break there for a couple of guys that got caught up in that one. Right, Mean Gene? You know, Jerry Rose tried to do his best to miss it. Same with Mark Dumont. Those guys both, though, learned a valuable lesson that hopefully everybody else does, that the apron is not your friend.
Not your friend. And worst thing coming out of that, Dumont loaded up the trailer heading back up north before he unloaded the maple syrup. So going to be some sad faces in the Pancake Alley here today. Maybe we can get Landry to bust out some of that maple syrup for us. Under caution here, and of course, cautions are sponsored by Todd Dunn. Todd Dunn is our official sponsor of those cautions. He didn't cause it, but he paid for it. Thank you, Todd Dunn. Under caution here on lap number 4, Landry still in the lead. Behind him, you can see single file drivers. Boys that are getting a little bit of repair are now out. Others still rolling. This race, of course, going to 150. Ooh, there's Duval. Maybe he's checking on the score of that Steeler game overseas starting early.
Yeah, of course, I know you were mentioning how we got 150 laps here today. But, of course, new to this season, stages. So we got the stage break there on lap number 50 at the end of it. So that's going to really play some interesting strategy for this race, as we can go about, if you're not saving any sort of fuel, you can go about 44 to 46 laps on a tank. If you're really doing a good job at saving, you might be able to go all the way to the stage break without pitting.
That would be fascinating to watch. I think if you're saving, though, you're not going to be in that top 10. Top 10 is going to be getting the points at the end of the stage when that caution pops out on lap number 50. A little bit of movement out on the track. You can see Jared Kelly moving up 10 spots into the 9th position. Good run for the double nickel so far. Remember, last year, he did get second. Also, Tim Darby on the move up in 11th. Moving into the restart zone, going to keep an eye on Landry. Away we go. Inside lane with a great jump. He's going to bring Gambrel with him. Gambrel's going to pull ahead of Mandela, go up into that preferred lane. Mandela taps the wall. That's not going to help anybody. David Medina, Mandela side by side. Medina hugging that apron, gets control of the 3rd place. Then Mandela, then they're double wide behind them. Up front, though, Jason Landry brings it into 3. He's got a 4-car length over the rookie Gambrel. It's Landry looking good early here at Kansas.
Yeah, you can see some guys making some moves further on back in the field. Look at that. You're talking about how Jared Kelly was coming through the field. He made up 3 spots so far here on this restart, going for a 4th. You said he was up 10. He's about to be up 14 spots here in a second.
Making moves. Also on the move, how about that number 43? That is another Pony Up driver, teammate of Gambrel. He's making moves. Old Farmer. He's blending out there, and right now he's blended himself up into that 9th spot. Great run for him so far. Behind him, you can see Paul Ferdiani plus EV Sport paint job driver right there. Paul Ferdiani, of course, the sponsor that gave a free paint scheme to David Buell.
Yeah, so doing a great job here to open up the race, just doing what he can, running in 10th place. I think trying to save some tires. He's holding off some really fast guys right behind him. Teammates again here, Kyle Lynott and David Owens side by side for 11th with Tim Darby. Look at him off to a great start. Look at that, making up the most spots to this point so far.
Yeah, I think ever since he got that sweet black paint job on that 13 Ford, Darby's been putting down some great laps. Had a good race last weekend. Going to continue to keep an eye on the sophomore driver. That's Tim Darby. Oh, and there's some activity. Look at that car way down on the apron.
Oh, he's losing it. Oh, he's coming back down. Ah! Don't T-bone him.
Down.
Oh, that got close.
You can't park there. David Owens calling out his former teammate.
I think that's going to be a caution.
It better be a caution. That was terrifying. That was that yellow car went zipping by. I think that might have been Jake O'Shea with that brown pants moment.
I think it was Schofield, if I'm not mistaken, actually.
Oh, yeah. He's a yellow Bud Light paint scheme, too.
Yeah, I think we might have some interesting stuff to look at here. Let's see what happened there to the 11 car.
Oh, it got a little scary.
And it got really scary. He's probably praying that thing wasn't going to go back up onto the track.
Yeah. It went just a little bit, not too bad. I'll tell you what, though, he's got to be happy. I've had this happen to me, and that adjustment right there is where it really goes wrong and whips Vulpes getting on the brakes as quick as he can. Did bring it up into the top lane. Ooh, couple of close calls there, but he survives. Also, looked like David Buell and Justin Malarkey got awful close to each other in that insanity. David Buell's car had a little bit of a snap, and so he and Malarkey got awful close. All right, lap number 11, and here comes some drivers going to go ahead and top off. In theory, they could make it to the end of the stage now, right?
Yeah, from here, yeah, they can make it from the end here, taking fuel on this caution. So Landry is the first one to come out. If we look at the guys that stayed out, Eric Gambrell right now going to inherit the race lead. He hasn't pitted yet. Zach Clausen going to take second. He hasn't pitted yet. Then you look at Kyle Lynott in third. He pitted on the first caution, so I'm sure he's feeling pretty confident that he saved enough with this one to make it to the end. And I assume everybody behind him has probably pitted on the first one as well.
Yeah, Owens and Lynott did pit on 3. Milliken and Darby, they're running 5th and 6th. Only other 2 guys that did not pit. 4 cars have not pitted as of yet. Others coming in just for a top off, except Vulpes. I think he took 4 freshies after sliding those spots on his tires.
He did not take tires here. I think he was just sitting in his pit stall to let people go by. From what I heard on the radio there, he actually got a speeding penalty coming down pit road.
Oh, cheater. All right, well, that's just going to put him in the back. He should be fine. All right, up front, though, Pony Up Motorsports, front row, Gambrell and Clausen. There's Tommy Fox. He's going to bring her around, waiting until the last second, getting as much repair as he can get done after that lap number 2 incident with Duval and Brenner that brought out a lot of pain for a lot of drivers. Oh, and now Tommy falling into line. I guess he didn't beat that car out, did he?
No, still got a lot of damage to fix, I think, on that 57 car as well. So he's just doing his best to try and hold on to what he can.
Yep, that's the 57 new Gulf Coast driver 57 of Tommy Fox. So fast movers out there. Look at Milliken up 20 spots. Tim Darby up 22 spots. Stephen Neal up 17 spots into the 10th position. So a lot of movement up top. Down at the bottom, Vulpes down 17 spots into 23rd after that scary moment. Into the restart zone. Look at Lynott up the backside of Gambrell. Gives him a heck of a push. He ain't going anywhere. Gambrell off to a good jump, but he's got Lynott with him. There's Clausen on the outside. Better momentum. Going to roll around. Might beat Lynott off the turn. Lynott has to cut it a little bit short, falls into line. Single file top 5 cars now. Behind them, you can see Milliken, Neal, Landry, Kevin Kyle, Brandon Shelton, top 10. But right now, it's the rookie Gambrell. Got to be happy. And he's got him a teammate between him and the charging Lynott.
Yeah, definitely doing a good job here to hold on to the lead on that restart. Zach Clausen, good job holding on to second as well. I know it's usually hard to start on the front row if you're not leading the race, especially for somebody that's a little bit newer to the service as well. So great job by him. Oh, the 56 is loose.
Landry into the wall, got the recovery, but that's going to cost him a few positions.
Oh, I think we got a wreck.
Oh, and it's Sarah and Darby. And look, the backwards car right there. Is that Todd Dunn backwards?
Todd Dunn, it looks like he may have spun trying to slow down for the wreck. Oh, the 27's in the wall again.
Look at Sarah, says, you hit the wall, I'll one-up you. I'll hit it again.
We got a replay ready to rock and roll, see what happened this time.
Well, this caution is sponsored by Todd Dunn. We're going to see. He definitely paid for it. We'll see if he was part of it. Oh.
Like just Darby and the 27 car there got together, and there's 72 coming flying in backwards at the end of it.
Look at him. He was giving him the hang loose sign when he went by backwards too. He just wanted to be on that side of the car so they could see him waving.
Good job by everybody to avoid. Good job by the 72. I think all he did was spin out there. So the only damage here is going to be on the front end of the 27 and 13. I don't think it's going to be too bad for them. So really lucky break that this could have been way worse than what it was.
Yep, I agree. Up front, Lynott did get by Zach Clausen, So on that restart, it would be Gambrel and Lynott. Question is, do any of the 4 drivers who didn't pit last time come in? And yes, they do. Here comes Milliken. He's going to go ahead and top off. Gambrel and Clausen might still be staying out there. We'll just have to watch.
Yeah,
Landry brings it down. Milliken in there. He drives by that destroyed 51. You can see there's Milliken. That looks like David Brenner now. Going to bring it on in for his second visit of the day. Lots of people already coming in twice. I think fuel's going to be at a premium today. Guys just going to keep topping her off.
Yeah, definitely just seeing what everybody's going to do here for fuel. You know, we got 35 laps to go in the stage, so coming in and topping off on fuel here, making sure you got all your damage fixed. You can see it looks like Landry has a little bit of right front damage, actually, if you see that there, Mean Gene, to get that right front fixed when he got loose out of 2. So I think that's what he's down there doing. Same with the 27 of Sara. Same with the 13, trying to get his damage fixed. The 22 trying to get damage fixed here as well. So all those guys doing their best to just get their cars fixed up.
Pace car coming out of 4. These boys better get rolling. They don't want to get caught behind that 8 ball. Gambrel did stay out up in front. You can see behind him Kyle Lynott inches away. Zach Clausen, Justin Malarkey, he's got that blue 72 up into 4th now. Behind him, David Owens in 5th place. Everybody up there should have enough fuel except for, of course, Gambrel and Clausen. Those pony up boys still going to need to bring it down. Probably, definitely taking them out of stage contention. Stephen Neal running in that green Toyota up 21 spots. Currently being shown in the 6th spot on that outside row. Behind him, Jared Kelly. And look on the inside, Joe. You talked about him earlier. And there he is up front. No surprise of Kevin Kyle. And that's a nice little Folcom line behind him, Brandon Shelton. So there's just no safe place in here, Joe. All these drivers that we're seeing, this league has such great parity. We've seen those wins spread around. You know, you do got the big 2, I guess, Landry, Medina. And then there's a lot of drivers right after that if you hiccup, they're going to take advantage. You got a David Owens. You got a Brandon Shelton, a Kevin Kyle, a Joe Vulpes. So lots of great drivers here making their way up to the front. And, you know, I'm forgetting other great names as well that have just made such an impact on our sport. Back into the restart zone, keeping an eye on Gambrel. Oh, he hesitated. That gave Lynott a little bit of trouble. Lynott recovers. Gambrel with the good lead. Lynott in 2nd. Malarkey and Clausen side by side for 3rd. Clausen on the apron. He's got David Owens right behind him. Malarkey in the 73s in 4th. Clausen hits the apron, gets loose. That's no good, Joe. No bueno.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to lose a bunch of spots. I can't even click on him. He's losing spots so quick.
Well, and look at it. There is no caution. He's bringing it back up. Oh, he's chirping on the radio. He must be mad at the apron.
Yeah, just a really, really tough break for him. While all that was going on, it looks like Kyle Lynott's taken over the race lead here, or at least he's trying to over Gambrel.
Great battle. Lynott does take it low. Surprising at Kansas because usually you see that outside lane so effective at making that move, but Lynott making use of the outside. And now here he is again back on the outside. Just great speed from that 988. He did take fuel, so in theory, Joe, that 988 has enough fuel to make it to the end, and he could claim that stage. Stage break lap 50, top 10 drivers will be awarded points. Everybody should have enough fuel to make it to the end of the stage, except for that 988 Ally Chevrolet of Gambrel, still needing a caution or just going to have to ride into the pit. Boy, what's up with Lynott riding up high like that, Joe? I heard I read the scouting report, said outside lanes can wear out tires.
Yeah, very interesting that he's running the outside right now, to be fair. You know, I think the outside is good maybe for a short run, maybe for, you know, trying to get a good qualifying lap in, but not for like long run speed. Right now, I think you want to be on the bottom of the track.
Yeah, you can hear drivers behind him being told to make use of that bottom lane. Nobody doing it better than David Owens. Malarkey off pace. Oh, and the little spinneroonie. Oh, no. Hearing it on the radio, Jose Medina Oculus dropped. And he ended up making contact with a couple of cars there. I think maybe David Brenner and maybe Tim Darby.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to have to go back and see what happened here with these couple of guys and what caused this wreck here on lap 22.
Wow. I'll tell you what, who's going to benefit? Zach Clausen. He's going to benefit. Yeah, let's look at Medina. Everything is fine. We're all good here. How are you? And then watch the Oculus. Gives Joe a heart attack. He's off the throttle into the wall. Brenner makes hard contact. Medina back up the track. Smacks Darby. Darby makes wall contact.
Those are some hard hits.
Yeah, really unfortunate. And you could see the moment. He just comes off the throttle right here. And look at Volpus. He's like, oh, no. Milliken gets around clean. And then just unfortunately, David Brenner caught up, comes up, the 13 of Darby into the wall. Going to bring out a caution here on lap number 21. This caution brought to you by Todd Dunn. He didn't cause it, but he paid for it. Todd Dunn caution. Thanks, Todd. Meanwhile, this is also going to let Eric Gambrell bring it down in the pits. Finally, going to get that opportunity to take that much-needed fuel to make it to the end of the stage. Other cars also taking advantage. Look at Jason Landry down there for visit number 3. Malarkey, Rick Modric, David Brenner. Of course, Medina's down there. Zach Clausen. He spun those tires pretty hard, so he's got that 43 Ford Pony Up team putting him 4 freshies on there. Darby getting a little bit of repair as he's been caught up twice. Duval still recovering from his foolishness that occurred on lap number 2, getting some more repair done down on his number 84 Chevrolet. Tommy Fox also get it cleaned up. And there's Landry. They're still working on that front end, Joe.
Yeah, they got, looks like they might have a little bit more work to get done. He's just trying to hold on right now, hope for a couple more cautions. Maybe they'll be able to finish it all up by the stage break. I think that would be best case scenario for him at this point.
Yep, very fortunate for those guys getting caught up in early cautions to have that stage break. It's just going to be another opportunity to get a little bit of repair done. 4 lead changes here on lap number 24. We're live on the Vortex Racing Network. 2 wide in the booth. Mean Gene Money, Smokin' Joe, bringing you the KU Rock Chalk 225 at Kansas live here on the Vortex Racing Network. Great racing early. If you're enjoying what you're seeing at home, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and take this time to hit subscribe on that little Vortex Racing Network button. Hit like, put us up the charts. Hey, leave a comment too. You might get a little interview that we might use down the road. We'll contact you. If you like racing, reach out to Bonfire. They can get you in maybe on a big truck on Tuesday. Also run on Sunday. Sister networks, of course. We got Monday nights. We got Thursday night trucks. And then, of course, the DDI Racing League. They're in the middle of their playoffs, but that's another truck series. Runs on Wednesday evenings. Lots of opportunities to race here that will be broadcast on the Vortex Racing Network 5 nights a week, Joe.
Yeah, very, very crazy. Not really any time to bring up that graphic right now just because we're getting ready to go back racing.
Yep. Up front, look at that. Gulf Coast teammates, David Owens, Kyle Lynott, going to be controlling the front row. Away we go. It is Lynott on the outside. Look at Kelly peeking below the number 8 of Owens. And then Kelly traditionally rides him up into the wall to take away that inside lane. Kelly with Owens pushing. Owens gets a little bit more momentum, finally falls in line, and then Kelly going to fall in line behind Owens. But boy, those top 3 drivers with a great jump. Kevin Kyle 4th, Stephen Neal 5th, battling with Brandon Shelton. You can see Shelton's got his number 2 on that bottom line. Neal with better momentum on the outside. And then the cars a little bit spread out behind them here at Kansas. So many lines that you could choose to run.
Yeah, you can see it right there, right behind him. Fulton teammates, David Medina Sr. running the bottom, and you see rim riding around the top of the track was Jake O'Shea there. Looks like the bottom, though, is working better. Jake O'Shea falling backwards, running the line that he is right now.
Paul Ferdiani going to be going below the 7 of Jake O'Shea. You know, he'd be faster if he still had Pennzoil on that car, just saying. Paul Ferdiani underneath him, side by side, racing across that start-finish line. Great run here early by the 33 of Ferdiani, battling with Jake O'Shea. It's a battle of the double numbers.
Yeah, 33.77. Oh, it looks like the 17 got a little loose back there. I don't know if you caught that. Sam Milliken. Good job saving it.
He's just jerking it. He's just jerking it. It's fine.
Well, he lost a couple spots out of it.
Yeah, that's the thing about this track. When you're coming out of 4 or 2, if that wheel is just a little bit off the wrong direction, it jerks that wheel. And if you've got that dirty air there you're also dealing with, it just increases that aero difficulty. Behind him, you can see Clausen still trying to make battle after his early mistake, but Clausen recovering to the 16th position. They're bringing it up. You can see Gambrel and Malarkey there on that outside. David Buell running in that 53. That's that white and red Marlboro car. And look at Milliken. He's just trying to find clean air up there, I would imagine, Joe.
Yeah, very, very difficult to turn in the corners if you're in dirty air. You can see it right there. It looks like the 52 might have gotten in the wake of the 11 in front of him and got a little bit tight in the center of the corner. So that's something that's a lot more noticeable and amplified with this car now.
But it's what makes for the fun of it, for sure. Look at Mandela falling back just a little bit. Mandela, remember, he started in second, and now that car not handling in traffic quite the way that it did when it was by itself. Ricky Mandela, of course, the Animal House custom captain, up in 7th, still a top 10 in his pocket so far, but was hoping to get up into the clean air so that he could do something with that. Meanwhile, up front, David Owens now in nice control of this lead, pulling away from his teammate of Kyle Lynott. Jared Kelly behind them. That is that Ignition Point racing driver having a good day. And Jared Kelly, one thing about him, he's not going to ride around in your dirty air. If you go high, he goes low. You go low, he goes high. Kelly will find a way to cut through, but with those two Gulf Coast teammate drivers in front of him, both of them with a pocket full of wins on their resume, Kelly's going to have his work cut out for him here today. Lap number 31 will be led by David Owens. 19 more laps until we hit that stage break.
Yeah, so we're coming down to the end of the stage here pretty quickly. We're looking at just how close we are getting to the end of it. You know, like you said, 19 to go in the stage. You can see it there in your top left. David Owens doing a good job right now controlling the race and doing the best that he can just to pull away a little bit. Actually, he's a little bit faster than Kyle that last lap again. Now he's got a half-second advantage over him. And if he could break out of that draft, break out of that wake, then he'll be able to really start taking control of this and be maybe on his way to winning the stage if there's no more cautions.
Yeah, David Owens in control here. You know, another fun battle, Joe, is how about that battle for 10th? 10th place is where that cutoff line is. You can see Malarkey just ahead of Ferdiani, and then Vulpes now peaking below the 33. Vulpes had that early, oh my gosh, incident, but now here he is back trying to battle for some stage points, trying to get by Ferdiani, does so, and now aims up a little further. There is a gap, though, between Vulpes and Malarkey. Oh, little wall tap there by the 33. Keeps it going. Behind them, you can see Jake O'Shea, then the rookie Gambrel. Don't think we're going to have enough time to see O'Shea and Gambrel get back into this thing. So question will be, can Ferdiani do anything to get by Vulpes and get that ever-important stage point?
Speaking of guys trying to get back into it, Jason Landry, it looks like he's got his car rolling really good again. Right now he's up to 14th, trying to find his way around these guys in front of him. And if we look at his lap times compared to the leaders, he's running comparable lap times to the leader. And look at him making that move on Gambrel there, then down into turn number 3.
Oh, yeah, you can hear Gambrel's crew chief on the radio says, let him go, do not get involved. And that's for 11th, so no real point advantage here. These boys just racing it out as the laps ticking down. 5 laps to go. Good speed by Landry on the outside, but I'm not sure if he's going to have enough to catch up to Vulpes, who currently is being shown in that 10th spot. That's a tight group right there, racing for 12th place, Joe. That's awful tight racing on older tires.
Yeah, these guys are doing a good job coming through the field. So looking at Landry, he's doing a good job cutting his way up to 12th. Another guy that we know that's really fast, David Medina Sr., it looks like he's starting to cut his way to the front, looking to make a move on Stephen Neal here for 5th.
Yeah, if he could get by him, he's got his teammate Shelton directly behind them. You can see Malarkey coming into the screen. Good run right here by Medina. Gonna hug that apron. Neal gonna try to make use of that outside lane. Ooh, little lap car Tim Darby on the bottom apron. Thank you, sir. And Medina does get clean, makes use of it. So even though Neal on that outside lane, not rolling it as fast as he would like to, gives up that position, David Medina takes over 5th. Meanwhile, look at Joe Vulpes. 10th was not good enough for this guy. Now he's creeped up onto Rick Mandella, and ahead of them, Neal, Shelton, Malarkey. That's the battle we were just watching. Neal holding off the charge of Malarkey, but let's keep an eye. Vulpes has got him about 3 more laps to try to sneak on by Rick Mandella.
Yeah, he's doing a good job right here.
He made Rick Mandella.
Yeah, they're doing a good job working together. This team has been doing their best to just work together, all 4 of them. Stephen Neal, of course, joining the team as their 4th, along with Buell, Ricky Mandela, and Vulpes. All 4 of them doing a great job working together here, first couple races of the season. And looks like Stephen Neal, though, right now is going in the wrong direction in a hurry.
Yeah, that's one thing about these older tires. We said, sure, you can make 45 laps of fuel, but the tires, how long will they go? If he's still up in the top 10, got to be happy about that. But he will have that extra set of tires if there's a late caution. So if you're not going to win this stage, why not save the set of tires, still sneak into the top 10? Really nice there. Look at that. You're talking about that Animal House Custom team. We got 3 of the 4 right there. David Buell in 14, just a little bit behind. Great job by Rick Mandella revamping that team. Remember Animal House Customs last year battling for 5th in team points. What do? They sign a top 15 driver in Stephen Neal, road course expert, take in Joe Vulpes, perennial championship contender, Mandella, 3rd-year driver, just getting better, and then they fill the empty seat. David Buell comes in running full-time this year, so a lot of big things going to happen out of that Animal House team this year. Wouldn't be surprised if they're up there battling, trying to get ahead of the Red Bulls and the Ferraris, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely doing their best to start making some moves. Right now, the Fulcum boys, though, are 4th through 7th in this race there, Mean Gene. So if you look at them, behind Jared Kelly in 4th, you have Kevin Kyle. He's starting to creep up, it looks like, a little bit on Jared in front of him. And then you got David Medina behind him. And then right behind them, you got Shelton and Malarkey battling with each other. So all 4 of the Fulcum cars running really well here with only 8 to go in the stage.
Yeah, that's the aforementioned Red Bull team right there. Those boys just so hard to beat. Always going to have a title contender. That's going to be Fulcum. Gulf Coast as well brings in Tommy Fox to replace Vulpes. Going to hurt him a little bit, not because Tommy does anything wrong, but just simply it's hard to replace the speed of a top 7, top 6 driver like Joe Vulpes. So the team battle going to be fascinating as we go. And for the love of money, please, Ignition Point Racing, go ahead and get a 4th driver so you guys can get up there too. That team has Landry, it has Kelly, so much speed. I think they got Ferdy Annie on that team as well. So they're about 1 driver away from being able to battle for those top 5s. The battle for 10th is still on. Stephen Neal holding on as Landry trying to close that gap. Only 6 laps remaining here. I think Landry might be reeling Neal in.
Yeah, Landry doing a really good job of climbing through the field here. Up to 11th. He's running really good lap times, way better than Stephen Neal in front of him. So he's just doing his best here. and I think he's going to be able to at least get one stage point out of it. Not really sure if he's going to get into that battle for 7th. You can see going on in front of them, Malarkey, Mandela, Vulpes, all really tight with each other here, with just 5 to go left in the stage.
Kevin Kyle off pace, gonna get passed right there by his teammate Medina. Behind them, Jared Kelly. You know, and as Kelly approaches Kevin Kyle, kind of brings me back to last week when the two of them decided to occupy the same space at Charlotte. Joe, that was a good time.
Yeah, I saw something about them going to a Waffle House and getting booted out of it and having to go eat at IHOP. I mean, I don't know what's going on with all that, but gotta take it easy, boys, at the Waffle House. If you're doing that, it's got to be 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, this is the way I figure it. They started at the Waffle House. That means fist fight, but it ended at the IHOP. So that means pinky promises. Now, if they would have started at the IHOP and finished at the Waffle House, then that thing is just escalating. All jokes aside, Kelly and Kyle did have a little bit of a curmudgeon attitude with each other. They've made up ever since. Things all good and rosy between the 31 and the 55. Meanwhile, on track, look at Kevin Kyle battling, still out there, looking good, trying to get around that broken car of Jose Medina. Medina is being shown a couple of laps down, milking that 54 around the track, hoping that Oculus doesn't go down again. I did hear, though, Mandela's got a new computer coming, and so he's hoping to get those Oculus issues addressed.
Yeah, hopefully Medina's able to get his problem solved here in the future, and then he can get back to running up front like he's used to, without having that kind of crazy stuff happening.
We got second place last week.
Yeah, exactly. So speaking of first, second, third, right now we're coming around to the white flag for the stage. David Owens looks like he's going to take control of it, and he led pretty much the majority of this stage and is just 1 lap away from winning his second stage in 3 races.
Yeah, David Owens got to be pleased. Got to be pleased with his team right now. Last week, of course, Lynott late in the race got involved in a late race accident, cost him multiple positions. Here today, though, nice and smooth. That's going to be Owens and Lynott, that Gulf Coast team, looking so good, bringing it into lap number 3, barring a lightning strike. We should see those two boys go 1-2 here at the end of the first stage, lap 50 of the Rock Chalk 225 here from Kansas Speedway.
There you go. Owens, Lynott, Medina. Looks like Kevin Kyle's going to finish the stage in 4th. Looks like behind them you got Jared Kelly. Ricky Mandela looks like he got Brandon Shelton at the line. Vulpes got Malarkey at the line. And then Landry was able to get into that 10th and final spot for stage points.
Nice run there by those boys. Eric Gambrell finished 11th. Bridesmaid, not the bride today, for the rookie after leading those laps. Too bad you don't get a point for leading a lap, but still got to be happy with the effort there of the rookie. David Buell, David Brenner behind them. Stephen Neal ended up falling to 14th. But, Joe, that's up 13 from his starting position. So Neal has to be happy where he finished. And the best part for him and many of these drivers is you still got all those sets of tires. You still come in now, get the fresh fuel, get that set of tires, and you're still on that winning strategy.
Yeah, I don't really think anybody took tires there in that first stage. So
Clausen.
All right, so Clausen was your only one, and that didn't work out at all for him. He's in 16th. I don't think anybody else put tires on in that first stage, so everybody's still with all 4 additional sets in the pits right here for this upcoming pit stop, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right. But hey, I think Clausen had to do it. He spun and got sideways. I think he had flat spots on those tires. All right, business is open. Everybody coming down. Jose Medina is your first car, but he's 2 laps down. 22 drivers on the lead lap. Let me ask you this. This is a stage break, not a real caution. Is it still sponsored by Todd Dunn?
I mean, if you want it to be. I do think we got some time, since we don't have to look at any replays, to run a little ad, pay the bills here after we see where everybody cycles out.
Oh, yeah. Here comes Landry. Oh, and here they come with the hammers. Somebody went a little too far. What was that, David Buell?
Yeah, it looks like some guys may have overshot their pit stalls. Very easy to do here, going from that asphalt to the concrete. And it looks like David Owens is going to retain the race lead here out of pit road. Looks like some good pit stops from a couple guys. Joe Volpus goes from 8th to 5th here on his pit stop, so made up 3 spots there. Looking at some other guys that did a good job. Landry made up a spot. He's into the top 10 now. Brenner moved up into the top 10 as well. So great job by those guys. Stephen Neal made up 3. Just by these other guys maybe having a little mistake, fixing some damage, what have you. So I think we're at that point. We can go pay the bills there. Mean Gene.
Gambrel's still in the pit, though. Look at that guy. Yeah, they handed him a Gatorade bottle, and he's standing up in the car, leaning forward. So I think we all know what's happening down there.
Oh boy. What do you say? You think it's time to get a little action?
Let's do it. Do it. Yeah. Oh.
What's this? Trophies. Look at these trophies. Oh, yeah. Oh, a surfboard. Yeah. Oh, check out that thing. 224. Yeah. Oh, wine bottle. Big time. Cup of wine in the big time. Yeah.
All right, so a little bit of excitement down there. In fact, Eric Gambrel came out of the pit super late, did beat the pace car, but he pulled a 360 as soon as he got past the cone. Now he's speeding around to try to catch back up. A little bit of excitement for the fans out there as the Ally 846 of Eric Gambrel putting on a show for the boys. You're supposed to wait till you win to do those donuts, right, Joe? You can't do that down there.
Oh, we can't do that.
You can't do that. You can't park there, and you can't do that. So Gambrel is going to be the last car on the lead lap. 21 cars on the lead lap. How about this? Justin Malarkey now being shown a lap down. Very curious. 2 laps down. So very curious. And now this end looks like Malarkey has parked it. Maybe outside forces have interfered with the race efforts of the 73 Ford of Justin Malarkey.
Yeah. So I guess he's not going to be able to finish this one here today. Unfortunate.
Yeah.
For him.
He was having a good run. Not sure. It said manually disconnect, so hopefully he just wasn't sucked off by the iRacing gods. We'll have to find out for you next week what happened to the 73. But yeah, Malarkey, that thing's in the garage, and they're putting it on the trailer. Gonna call it a day. Up front, Gulf Coast teammates David Owens and Kyle Lanat. Following around the pace car, second row, David Medina, Jared Kelly. Third row, Joe Volpus, Kevin Kyle. Fourth row, Brandon Shelton and Ricky Mandela Sr. And fifth row, going to be Jason Landry, Stephen Neal. Lots of good racing about to happen. We're on lap 55, about to go on to 56. We're into the restart zone. Away goes David Owens. Great jump. Going to get out to about a 2 or 3 car lead. David Medina side by side with Lanat. Second, third place by those two. Going to bring it into turn number 1. Behind them, Kelly making the outside work, pulls ahead of Joe Volpus. That's 4th and 5th. Lanat side by side with Medina. Lanat wiggles. Medina gets him awful close to that wall, but he continues the run. Look at the momentum of the 988 on the outside. David Owens still leading it through 3 and 4. Lanat will not go away. Gets clear of Medina, but it's going to be David Owens leading lap number 56.
Yeah, we got some great racing here up front. Look at this, Kyle Lanat maybe trying to mount a charge on his teammate David Owens and take the lead. We saw how many laps Kyle Lanat's led earlier here in the season so far. Led the most laps at Kentucky to start the season. Led a fair amount of laps last week at Charlotte as well. So he's been doing a really good job here trying to cash in on getting some more laps led here today. Maybe even getting the race win.
You know, another thing Kyle Lynotte's letting the entire field know, and definitely the fans, the outside lane works. The outside lane works. It doesn't eat tires the way that we anticipated because he made it to that end of that run as fast as anybody else out there. So this might show us that need, that desire, the scouting report to say hug the apron, that might not be as important as we thought, especially watching what he did in that first stage.
Yeah, so we're just going to see how this plays out. Right now, Kyle not doing his best. I think running that high line has been beneficial for him behind Owens because he's staying out of that wake and he's able to stay out of that dirty air and able to corner very well. So that's what's really helping him right now, I think, in my opinion.
Look at Medina and Landry also running that high line, but I think that's the same thing, is the arrow. Shelton is low, that makes Landry go high. Kelly goes low, that makes Medina go high. So those veteran drivers taking advantage of the open lane to avoid that dirty air. But now look, Landry and Medina nowhere to go. They got to basically draft with their teammate Shelton below them. Look at that. That's a nice Fulcum focus.
Yeah, you got the Fulcum teammates Sheldon and Medina battling with Ignition Point Racing's Jason Landry here for 4th place. But up front, it's getting really tight there, it looks like, between Owens and Lynott. I think Kyle really wants to take over this race lead here and take control of the race. Look at that. Look at him on the outside.
Wow, really making it work. When you're on the outside of the track going across that start-finish line, you are just committed to that wide open speed. Lynott makes it work. Now off to a nice 2-car length, still pulling away lead over David Owens. Now look at Kelly and Landry, 3 different lanes. Ooh, Landry is a little loose, comes down. He's still having issues down
Kelly
there. Straighten it out.
That's going to be a lot of time lost right there. A lot of positions lost. He's lucky, though. It could have been really bad if he was to lose control or somebody wasn't paying attention and didn't check up. That could have been a big wreck.
Now, what about the tires there, Joe? That'll heat those tires up. That could affect him for a little bit longer on this run.
Yeah, it might affect him on the long run. We'll see how it really plays out. Right now, in the short term, though, that lost him about 3 seconds of time and about 15 spots on the track. So that's the main concern that I'm looking at for him. The other thing I'm looking at right now, Mean is some of these guys I think are into some fuel conserve mode here to try and make it a one-stop race.
It could be, of course. You know, you're talking about 47-ish laps, 46 laps. So if you can get behind somebody else, have them pull you along, that might be something that you could figure out later. Cautions came early and often at the beginning of this race, but now as we've been on this run after that restart, we've calmed down a little bit, having some nice green flag racing. Still going to have 21 cars on the lead lap. Jose Medina is 2 laps down, first car that is laps down. Then you got Jax Duvall 3 laps down, and Tommy Fox 6 laps down. So it's trying to make it work for those broken drivers. Ooh, that was a blink. Nice in-car here of Kevin Kyle. So I've heard a lot about shifting down to 4th on some of these lower line runs, Joe. That a thing here today?
Yeah, you can see it right there. Kevin Kyle is shifting right now. Honestly, if you're trying to save fuel, I don't think that's the best strategy. Oh, I think actually... Oh!
Okay, that's a new line. That's a fuel-saving strategy.
I don't know about doing it in 4th gear. Oh, we're down to 3rd. All right, there we go. Kevin got it going again.
Oh, no. Oh, no, that was terrifying.
Yeah, he did a good job saving it, not wrecking or anything like that. But Kevin Kyle just lost a bunch of time. Look at that. He's 8.6 seconds behind the leader. So he's going to be in the boat now where he's going to have to try and save fuel. We saw Vulpes was clutching and staying in 5th gear. So he's saving fuel. I believe David Buell behind him. I think this is a team strategy from Animal House Customs. Right now, 3 of the 4 are on the fuel-saving side. Stephen Neal trying to do his best as well. So all 4 of them actually trying to save some fuel here. while also keeping the best track position possible. Ricky Mandela right now is the one that's struggling the most to keep track position out of the four of them. He's in 17th.
Little insight there to the team's strategy. Animal House Custom thinking maybe they could eke this out and turn it into a gas-saving race. Meanwhile, up front, look at Kelly and Lynott. They got awful close on that last time. Behind them, David Medina, not sure who to choose. If I'm Medina, I stay low, because if those two gets together, you imagine it's going to go up into the wall first.
Yeah, right now, those guys behind Owens, they're doing it. Owens is probably smiling right now, looking at these guys going side by side behind him. It's given him a lot of leeway here to get away.
You know, another driver. How about Paul Ferdiani? We talked about him having that great run. Paul being shown in 5th. He's a little bit off of that lead group. But you know what? He's on the same lap time, same tires, everything looking good right now for that 33 of Paul Ferdiani, currently running in the top 5. Behind him, then, here comes the strategy boys. Joe Vulpes, David Buell, Stephen Neal, all back there riding around the track in 5th gear on the radio with each other, looking at fuel gauges, looking at tachometers, trying to see if they can turn this into a fuel strategy victory. 9th place, then you got Gambrel. This guy's not on a strategy. He's just laying down laps right now. Started in 3rd, finished 11th, just outside of the end of that stage, but now he's up into 9th. Got to feel good. Behind him, teammate Zach Clausen running in 10th. Good recovery after that scary moment down in the pits for that 43. Right now, though, he's got a window full of Sam Milliken behind him in 11th, the Houston, Texas driver, trying to make it up here at the RockShox 225 live on the Vortex Racing Network.
Right behind him, making up positions after his scare earlier on in this run, is Jared Kelly. He's back up to 12th place, and right now he hasn't lost too much time to the leaders, if I'm looking at it, since the last time he had a problem. Looks like he was 3.5, 4 seconds back after he had his half spin. He's now only 5.2 back, so if we're looking at his lap times here, you know, last lap time around was just half a tenth off the leaders. So right here, he's running very comparable lap times with everybody up front.
Yep, he's back. Never count out that 55 as long as he's got that thing moving forward. Behind him, Jake Shea still making great effort. And then a fun little battle with David Brenner and Rick Modric. They are side by side, having a nice little duel that is going to be for the 14th and 15th position. And they're getting awful close to Jake Shea. That's always fun when you got 3 wide here at Kansas.
Yep, 3 wide at Kansas is never really something that works out too well unless you...
Good for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for the action, but I don't know. I'd be pretty scared if I was in that kind of a situation personally. As looks like, look at that, Brenner's really struggling here to get around that 913 car. As you see, Darby, looks like he got his car all fixed up, but he is many, many laps down. I think it was said 28. So he's just out there trying to log laps, hope some guys drop out of the race.
You know, that 913 of Rick Modric, he's just running. Everybody that comes in the league is going to run that 900 number their first 3 races here. So rookie in the league, but not rookie on the system. Modric running top 10 earlier, also had top 10 lap times during practice. So even though he's running that 913, don't be fooled. Rookie numbers does not mean rookie results. That is proved by Gambrel up in 9th and Rick Modric making battle right here for 14th, 15th place.
Yep, back up front, it looks like that Gulf Coast 1-2 is starting to come under attack. Kyle Lynott going to start feeling the pressure from David Medina here as he goes to the inside.
Oh, yeah, Medina looking down on that apron. Lynott trying to make the outside work. Almost touches the wall, but you can see that outside lane momentum starting to fade away as Medina makes it clear, gets by. Meanwhile, Jared Kelly, he's going to look below Lynott, pulls up ahead of him. Lynott trying to make that outside roll. Touches the wall again.
Mean Gene, you're forgetting who's driving what car as we come through a haze of smoke. That's Jason Landry, not Jared Kelly.
Oh, whoopsie daisy. Well, Whoopsie daisy. They're on the same team. It's all the same. So Kelly can't get Lynott holds off the charge of Landry, and Landry falls a few positions behind. You know what? Maybe Landry was listening to the broadcast and screamed, "That's not me. That's not him." And that's what made him lose those spots. Sorry about that, Mr. Landry. Landry now going to regain his attack on Lynott, using that outside lane the same as the 988. David Owens had to love what he saw, but another David slowly creeping up on him, just 5/100ths of a second slower that last lap.
Yeah, and looking further on back, actually, David Buell, the other David out there, look at him. He's creeping his way forward. He's up into 5th place now and running some really good lap times compared to the front guys as well. Just a 10th and a half slower that last time by, as it looks like Paul Ferdiani really starting to struggle. You saw him actually get the wall there right in front of Vulpes.
Yeah, and he just said on the radio, going to give up that position. I think Ferdiani is in a complete holding pattern, just trying to make it to the end of this fuel run so he can put some 4 freshies on that 33 Toyota. Stephen Neal behind him, not fading as he did the end of the last run. Instead, Neal on the attack, looking high, looking low, now looking high once again. Ferdiani, though, with that good run, continues to hold on to that 7th place position. Gambrel and Clausen slowly creeping up on those 2 drivers as well, and that is 7, 8, 9, and 10th position.
And we look at their lap times right now. Gambrel is about 4/10ths off the leader, so he's just doing his best here to hold on to the guys in front of him. So right now, these guys not having the greatest long run speed here. It looks like further back in the field. And it looks like maybe Zach Clausen with a little better long run speed if we look at his last lap. Yes, 31.6 from him. But did you see that guy creeping up in the picture? I think you might want to start cueing that Jaws music.
Dun, 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 dun. You're going to need a bigger boat, Farmer.
He's coming up on these guys in a hurry. Oh my goodness!
Gambrel going to take it 3 wide.
Oh, Mean Genie made it work.
Wow, the rookie says, "Hey guys," and they all panicked and froze, and he got through clean. For now, they fall into line. Gambrel taking over the position. Then Ferdiani, Neal, Clausen, and here comes Kelly. Look at Clausen. Look at the testicular fortitude to put a block on the 55.
Man, that was a really bold move from him, but it worked out for now. Jared Kelly showed a little restraint right there, showed a little bit of patience. I don't think he's going to keep it long, though, because he wants to get through these guys as fast as possible in order to be on the best strategy to the end of the race.
Yeah, he's got to get through these guys really quick. Kelly used to battling for top 5. Right now, he's in 11th place, and he's got a second-year driver in front of him. And then an absolute wall. Look at Neal and Ferdiani and Clausen side by side. Let's see if Kelly can do the Gambrel 3 wide, run it up the middle. Nope, they're going to close that down on him.
He thought about it.
He did think about it. And now look at David Brenner and Milliken sneaking in. So all these cars gravitating to, oh, and look at Clausen again cut in front of Kelly. Boy, that guy's wild.
Yeah, you might want to watch out. I think you might want to let him go this time. Don't wash up into him. Don't do it.
Okay, Kelly gets clear. Looks like Clausen is trending the wrong way. Those tires starting to fail him. Lap times definitely fading away for the 43 of Clausen. And on lap 84, in theory, Joe, in theory, you could pit now, and that you'd still be in that window.
Yeah, you'd still have to pit another time, though. So
well,
guys,
of course you would.
So if guys are trying to, if they know for certain they can't make it to the end, they're going to start taking a look at taking a pit stop here rather than in a little bit, try and run it out of fuel, because you want to try and short pit here a little bit. So if they pit now, then, you can come down again at about lap 120, 125, 130 even, and have 20 laps to the end on that last set of tires. So we'll see if any of these guys up front think about doing that, or if they've been saving fuel like Vulpes and Buell, but those guys are so far behind right now, 5 and 6 seconds back, that I don't feel like the top 4 are really in a fuel-saving sort of mode.
No, it's going to be interesting to see. That is a big number, talking about fuel saving. I'm more along the lines in my head of you're going to have to pit twice. Why not do it now? Get it over with, short pit the rest of the field. We've been on a very long, extended green flag run. These guys are starting to spread out. The odds of that caution are getting narrower and narrower unless you're one of the cars that's around. Now, it looks like the 43 has finally faded away from the other cars. So why not come in, get a pit, get fresh? And here comes Landry. He must have been listening to Mean Gene.
Yep, he's going to come down pit road. He's certain he cannot make it on that one stop. He's going to short pit it just a little bit here, come down, take 4 tires, I would assume, in fuel, and then be on his way. I think this is a good idea. If you know you can't make it, short pit it a little bit, and you can make up a lot of time on that short pit.
Yeah, I mean, why not? But it gives you that opportunity to take control, especially early on. Here comes Kyle Lynott. I think he's of the same mind. The way he was running that outside lane also, he could probably afford to put some new tires on that thing. Landry did take 4 tires, so that was a complete reset for the 56 Toyota of Jason Landry. Up front, Owens, Medina still making battle, controlling this race. I'm hearing on the radio, sounds like the 43 is going to be coming down. Let's see who else. That business is going to start picking up down in that pit road.
Yeah, so right now, Kyle Lynott's...
43, that wasn't good.
Oh, I think he misses the pit road there, and that's going to cost him a lot of time. That's a really tough break for Zach Clausen. He's going to have a lot of trouble here making sure he can... Now he's going to have to come back around, make sure you don't make a mistake, and have a clean pit entry because he just lost about 8 seconds right there.
Look at Brandon Shelton. This guy pretty much went on the apron to let cars go by him. Currently being shown a lap down from the leaders. That's fuel saving mode at its finest, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think that might be a little bit too extreme, though.
What's the minimum lap speed?
I think going that slow is not going to work in his favor. If that's
Look at Landry about ran him over.
Yeah, that's just not going to work at all going that slow. I would assume he's probably got to have some sort of a major mechanical problem going that slow.
Yeah, that was no bueno, but manages to keep that car rolling. There must be something going on. Meanwhile, the calamity continues. Clausen busted for speeding. So first you miss the pits, and then you speed through the pits. So what's the trifecta, Joe? What's the third thing you could do?
You can merge onto the track before the blue cone and get a unsafe pit exit.
Okay, we'll keep an eye and see if the second-year driver can make that happen. Meanwhile, here comes David Owens pitting on lap number 91. This is a little bit early to try to stretch it into the one pit stop. What's the number, Joe? If you were really going to try to make that strategy work, what is the number that makes that possible?
At the very least, you have to go to lap 100 to at least have a thought of making it. I think if you want to be feeling pretty safe, you got to go to like 102, 103.
And that's going to be really tough because the pit times are going to start to fall off, or the lap times are really going to start to fall off, and then you got to wonder. Guys out there, like, look at that last lap there by Mandela, 32.71. His fastest lap was 2 seconds. 2 seconds and a tenth faster than that. So if you're out there saving laps, losing 2 seconds at a time, if a caution came out, you could put people down, yeah. But if that caution doesn't come out and you don't make that tire strategy, you could be 2 or 3 laps down.
Yeah, you got to be very careful on how it all plays out for yourself to this point. But, you know, if there's a caution, then that's going to just mess everything up. And it's going to flip things back into the favor of all these guys that you see pitting here, of course. So right now it's kind of you're in that spot of the race where you don't know which way is the best way to run this race. You do know, though, if it goes green, making it on one stop is way better than making it on 2.
Ooh, here comes Gambrill into the pit. What a close call. That was about as close as you can go without speeding. He is good on it. Great pit entrance there. Going to be happy for his team, for the rookie there. Meanwhile, Drivers still making around lap number 95, wondering how many of these guys are trying to hit that lap 100, 101 that you targeted earlier, Joe, and how many of these guys are just absolutely terrified that if they pitted, they would just be put a lap down. So they're more in survival mode than gas conservation mode.
Yeah. Right now it's kind of just that little bit of a balance because
you're in limbo.
Yeah, because of course Jason Landry is out there. He's the first guy on fresh tires, and he's running faster lap times than everybody in front of him on the track. 4/10 faster than your leader David Medina, and way faster than everybody else trying to save some fuel at this point. So Landry is right now way faster than pretty much everybody in front of him on the track, and it's going to work out in his favor time-wise for now.
Exactly, for now. But if this thing goes on further, he could see that short pit backfire and people have the late speed, specifically somebody like Kyle Lynott. Kyle Lynott is being shown 2.7 seconds behind Landry. David Owens also in that little group with them. But if this run continues green, we might see Lynott be able to make up that shorter pit. Only one lap difference. But how about David Owens? That guy pitted on 91, so he's actually going to have 6-lap fresher tires than Jason Landry. So we'll keep an eye on that little group there. That was the first group that came in to make that short pit. And then after that, you see a lot of boys that did it back onto lap number 90, 94 for Gambrill, 91 for Schofield and Modric. So lots of different strategies. The big one, though, is we're counting, Joe. We're on lap 99. How many of these top 10 drivers might think they can make it to 100 or 101?
Well, there you go. There's one that won't, and that's Jake Shea. He pits on lap 99. We'll see what the leader, David Medina, does. He's going to come down here, going to be at the start of lap 100, so he's going to be very tight on making it. He's going to need to do some serious saving, I think, to make it to the end.
See, and I'm worried about that strategy. If you came in on 94 or even like 89, you got the short pit, you're cutting it in half, you're in great shape. You wait this long, there's no guarantee that you can push it to the end. You might have to pit again anyway for fuel. And then how many laps did you run that you were a second slower than Jason Landry, and you still need the same fuel as him? This is a dangerous move right here for Medina. If there is no caution and he can't make it on fuel, it's going to hurt. And here we go. Neil, Brenner, Kelly, Sarah. Again, this is lap 100. They have to push a 47-lap gas tank to 50 laps. That means you're going to have to be in safe mode. Going to be tough. Meanwhile, look at Buell, Volpus, and Mandela. That Animal House custom team still pushing, as is the 31 Chevrolet of Kevin Kyle.
Yep, here comes David Buell this time around.
Oh, no, Mr. Bill. Mr. Sluggo's out to get me. He's in the grass. That's a strategy.
I think he just got in there a little too hot, and that's going to really affect him hard here as he tries to get
a heart. He drew a heart in the grass. Look at that. I could see it.
I think that's more of a broken heart after that. That's going to be a really long hold. I think he's going to get hit with speeding and an unsafe pit entry as well.
Littering and unfortunate. Here comes Rick Mandela as well into the pit. Now, Joe Volpus, that's their other teammate, still cruising up front. Now he's got the rookie or second-year driver. That's that 43 at Clausen in front of him. Clausen on fresher tires ought to just get on out of the way and disappear and give Volpus less dirty air to worry about. Volpus with a little lead of about 20 seconds over Kyle, who's also trying to stretch this thing out. Here comes Joe Volpus now. Kyle will take over the lead. No points for leading laps. So Kyle really making sure he's going to have enough fuel to make it to the end of this thing. One more pit stop in mind for Kevin Kyle.
Yep, he's done a good job here. After that huge slide of losing all that time, he's done a great job being able to switch to really run out this, switch around the strategy, run out this gas tank as far as humanly possible. He's gone even further than Vulpes, so he's doing a really good job here saving fuel. I would assume he's probably going to come down this time. That would leave him with 46 laps to go to the end, which is pretty much flat out just about to the end of the race.
Yeah, there will be no saving for him. Once he comes out of here, he'll be free to drop the hammer. Going to have a lot of space that he's going to need to make up, though, pushing those last few laps, those lap times a second, even more off of the leader's speed. So Kevin Kyle's going to have his work cut out for him to try to catch up. Jason Landry will inherit the lead. Landry pitting on 86. Going to need to pit for sure, Jason Landry, to make it to the end of the race. We're currently on 105. He pitted on 86. So theoretically, he's going to need to come in and pit in about 30 more laps or so. Splash and go. This is where it'll be interesting for some of these guys now, Joe. Those last 15 laps, those last 10 laps, when you do this, if we stay green, the splash and go. Is that the time now? 20 laps? Do you just do 2 tires? 25 laps? When do you think you could do 2? And when do you think you do none?
Yeah, so looking at the way these tires have been working, the tires are good for like a good 5-6 laps where you can really run some heaters, and then they start to fall off a nice decent amount, and then there's the huge fall off down to that 31.5 pace. So I think if you're thinking about it, you really just want to be able to use the goodness of the tires at the best time possible. So 2 tires might be a reasonable strategy to get some good time out of that, just because all the track, all those race times are going to really, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? They're going to really flatten out. Everybody's going to be running the same kind of lap times fairly quickly. So like in Landry's shoes, you know, taking 2 tires, getting out to a bigger lead, and pitting like 2 or 3 laps later than Owens means that by the time those tires equalize, he should still be in front of him by a decent amount.
Something for us to keep an eye on as this race continues to progress. We are on lap number 108, 43 laps remaining here in the Rock Chalk 225 at Kansas, live on the Vortex Network. Got Smokin' Joe giving us all that action. Mean Gene Money here as well, watching all the excitement. This is race number 3 in the Bonfire Premier Cup. Landry looking good, ready to get his first win of the season. But David Owens, Kyle Lynott have something to say about that. The 2 Gulf Coast drivers just 2 seconds, little bit over 2 seconds behind Jason Landry. Little bit quicker for Owens and Lynott that last lap as well. Remember, Owens 5 lap fresher tires than Landry. Lynott 1 lap fresher tires. And then behind them, David Medina. He's a good 5.5 seconds back. But Medina pitting on 99 should have a lot better tires. And then Gambrell on 94. Kelly on 100. Now, Joe, you made a joke comment statement about make it to 100 and maybe you could talk about it. Jared Kelly pitted on lap 100. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, pitting on lap 100, you know, there's an outside chance to make it. I think you need a little bit of, you need to really do a good job of saving if that's when you came down, though. I really think if you want to be good, you needed to go to at least 101, 102, 103, or even 104 like Kevin Kyle did.
Well, 101, no, only one guy, Rick Mandela, made it to 101. Those guys that pushed it, though, they're being shown a lap down. Real unfortunate, but hey, you know what? A pit cycle puts you a lap and a half down. So if they avoid that one pit, it will all come back to them. It'll all be worthwhile. Kevin Kyle being shown as the first car 1 lap down, pitted on 104. So Kyle able to just run this thing as hard as he wants and not worry. Meanwhile, Vulpes, only car in the lead lap that did pit that late, back on 103. So if this thing goes green and those strategies unfold the way that we have discussed, Joe Vulpes could be in a great position to pick up the win here in our 3rd race of the season. But a caution, and all of a sudden it resets. Joe, we're at lap 113. That means there's 38 laps to go. A caution here, everybody gets a full tank of fuel, and then we don't even have a talk about fuel strategy.
Yeah, that would be a real shame if something like that were to happen to really mess up this way the strategy is playing out. It would be great to see just the way this is all going to work, because right now Vulpes right now is one of the faster cars on the track. But David Medina, you know, we were talking about him and when he pitted as well. He pitted on lap 99. So if he does a really good job here, he might be able to save the fuel. And if you look at his lap times as well up there, he's running some really good lap times as well compared to the leaders. He's closing in that gap just a little bit every lap, about 2-3 tenths, and it's down to almost 4 seconds now.
Yeah, he's got the newest tires of the top 4 drivers. We expected that, but with the 31.29, that's only 0.5 of a second slower than his fastest lap of the day. So I don't think conservation is in the mind of David Medina. I think this guy's more just dropping the hammer. He knows that all the guys in front of him are going to need to pit again, not looking backwards. I think this guy's just going to race this thing as hard as he can. And the way the caution started at the beginning, you almost think in your head it's inevitable. It's going to happen again. So many people need to pit. That's going to be another opportunity for some foolishness. So if I'm Medina, I'm not counting backwards. I am dropping that hammer, just trying to close that gap as quickly as I can. You know what, Joe? Let's go to the in-car and see if he's downshifting that, because he's on that bottom apron a lot. If he's shifting, then you know that strat's straight out the window. What's going on in there? Oh, he's rolling it.
Smooth as butter.
Yeah, so he's staying in 5th.
Smooth as butter through each corner, and he's just look at that. Look at the size of that 988 getting bigger and bigger in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of sizes of cars getting bigger and bigger in front of him, David Owens is really starting to close in on Jason Landry. You can see he was 2 tenths faster that last time. Now got it under a second to him.
Yeah, starting to reel him in. He is in the sight of David Owens. You're going to have to see how much longer Landry can continue this battle. Landry knows he needs another pit stop. Why not come in and do it now? Short pit the group again, and then have that tire advantage. You're knowing Owens is going to have to pit last on 91, so it's a guarantee. Oh, somebody's in the wall up in turn 3. Maybe we're going to get a caution out of that. They kept it rolling. It's Duval again.
Oh, it's a caution.
Well.
We got the replay ready for you, Mean Gene.
Ain't that something?
It's like he got bumped by the 2 car there, and now he's just out of control. And
he's locking it down. Oh.
Looks like the replay video might be a little messed up there.
Oh.
Didn't really catch the beginning part of it there. The 2 car got into the back of him a little bit, and then just got him out of control.
Yeah, that's unfortunate right there. 3 cars all coming down hard on that 84, and ends up tapping on the wall. Unfortunate circumstance there for Jax Duval, Florida man. Already having a long enough day as it is. 4 laps off the lead. He's 4 laps down. That's not going to make his day any better. Meanwhile, up front, it's the broadcaster curse. We said if there's another caution, everybody's going to come in and take fuel and not have to worry about strategy. And here they come. Landry, Owens, Lynott. The party begins. Looks like a couple of guys, Michael Cera, Brandon Shelton, going to stay out on the track. That's the funny thing about this. Only 10 cars on the lead lap. Rick Mandella should be the lucky dog, but everybody else out there kind of needs to stick it out, do a wave around to avoid staying a lap down.
Yeah, so just a tough break for a lot of those guys on that strategy. So you see Ricky here. Actually, it looks like he's going to get the wave around as well. I think Kevin Kyle was your... I don't know who is your lucky dog here. Was it Michael
It should
Sarah?
be Mandela. I think Kyle, we
No, I
had
think it
10
was
on the lead
it looks
lap.
like it was Michael Sarah. I think Michael Sarah was your lucky dog here, because I think
I thought it was on the lead lap.
I think a couple guys got lapped there, because like I'm looking at Kevin Kyle, he's still behind the pace car, so he's going to take a wave around. Mandela, Milliken, Stephen Neal, all these guys are going to take the wave around here. Let's see if Schofield, looks like Schofield got in front of the leaders as well. We see Sheldon, looks like he's looking to get back one lap down. I think Brenner's a part of that group as well. So, yeah, right now it looks like after everything cycles, so Sara was your lucky dog. He's on pit road now. He's in 9th. Then the guys 10th through 14th are all going to take the wave around. That's Kevin Kyle, Ricky Mandela, Sam Milliken, Stephen Neal, and Matt Schofield.
So they're still going to need another pit stop, those drivers that we just mentioned, but at least they're back on the lead lap. Sarah, super happy. He gets back on the lead lap and got him a nice full tank of gas to make this to the end. And there you go. There's your wave around crew zipping around that pace car. Meanwhile, Landry and the boys going to re-rack them behind the pace car. So 14 cars on the lead lap. Behind them, just one lap down, Shelton, Brenner, Clausen, O'Shea, and Medina. So, looks like there's going to be 5 guys battling on the lead lap for that lucky dog. That ought to be a race inside the race.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what those guys really have for the battle and see how it really plays out.
6? Is that 6 guys on that are one lap down?
So looking at it, looks like Sheldon and Brenner are 1 down, but then Clausen, O'Shea, Medina, and Buell are 2 down.
Okay, so just those 2 then. Just those 2 battling, and then the rest of the boys are going to have to wait their turn for the lucky dogs to come around. Sad about Shelton. That was a guy that fell victim to too much fuel strategy. We saw just how slow he was going on those laps. All right, so we're back under green. Jason Landry now in the lead. Kyle Lynott making chase. Good speed on that outside. Lynott has made use of that outside lane all day. And no change here today. But now he's going to look down low, going to hug the apron as Landry's trying to ride it up high. Great move by Lynott. Going to ride it up, take over the lead. He made that look easy, Joe.
Yeah, really great move by him. We're at that point in the race now where we're not saving anything anymore. We're just going for it. So Kyle Lynott going for it, looking for his first win of the season here after leading all those laps in the first 2 races of the season, looking to take control here late.
Yep, and he did lead a lot of laps all year long, looking for that first victory. Behind him, also looking for victories, Landry and Owen. So the podium right now, no wins the first 2 races. Then you got Medina Kelly, the rookie Gambrel running in 6th. Joe Volpus, his strategy got shot right out the window after that caution, but now he's got 4 freshies, full fuel, running in 7th place. Behind him, Rick Modrick. He's also looking to put a mark on that thing. We skipped over Farmer. You're a couple laps down, but Farmer's running real good up there too, Joe.
Yeah, running real good for 2 laps down in 17th. So,
that pit killed him, man. You can't do those things in the pit. We all get the game, and we all learn to turn the steering wheel to the left. But there's a lot more that goes on to this thing in the pits. That was perfectly illustrated there by the hazards, by the calamity suffered by the 43. Modric, though, look at this guy, man. I told you, he's a rookie in the league, but he ain't a rookie overall. Modric putting down great times, finding himself up in 8th place. Good run here today by the 913 of Rick Modric.
Yeah, great job by him. He started in 8th, so very consistent for him right now to be in 8th at this moment in time. Rounding out the top 10, another guy that really didn't want that caution was Kevin Kyle. It's really not worked out in his favor. He's 4.5 seconds behind because of the wave around in 9th, and then Ricky Mandela in 10th right now in some heated battles with lapped cars, actually, not even battling with anybody on the lead lap. A bunch of guys that had bad luck as well. Jake Shea, Jack Duval, Paul Ferdiani, all with some bad luck today to be multiple laps down.
Yeah, not where you want to be, but that's just how it works out sometimes. Mandela, so fast in practice, really a surprise to see him struggling here late. But track temperatures change, conditions change, and most importantly, you get into that aero, and then the car handling changes. Up front, though, look at this. Lynott, he's going up and down and everywhere he can to try to keep that 56 with Landry behind him. And then directly behind them, David Owens. He'd love to see these two get into a little kerfuffle and take advantage of that. Medina behind them, Kelly, top 5, all the names you're used to seeing running up into the front. Then behind that, it gets fun, Joe. Eric Gambrill, Volpus, Modric, Kyle Mandela. So good eclectic mix of cars, but all right there. An accident could take somebody from the front all the way back to the 10th on a light wiggle and even further back to 16th. Remember, 16 cars on the lead lap here right now. Oh, no! Is that Owens?
Yep. It's a caution.
Hold it, David. Hold it. Wow. Wow. Not what we needed. Not what we need. Looked like he might have had contact with Lynott there.
Yeah, we're going to have to pull up the replay, see what happened. It looked like Landry was able to get the lead from Lynott, and then Lynott maybe got a little tight, or maybe the A car got tight. We're going to have to see what happened.
All right, so Lynott's on the outside. You can see Owens down on the bottom. Owens plows up the track and just makes contact with the left rear.
Some serious damage to the left rear of that 988 car. I don't know if you saw the way that spoiler just buckled in. Yeah, that might be a problem for downforce purposes.
Not what you wanted to see if you're the Gulf Coast, a fan of Gulf Coast racing. As those two teammates get into each other, and gonna have to have a little talk. Remember last week at Charlotte, Lynott getting into it with the 51, and that wreck ended up taking out Gulf Coast teammate Tommy Fox and doing damage to the Gulf Coast teammate David Brenner. So again, you can just see Gulf Coast having a little bit of difficulty this time late in the race. Not what they wanted to see happen. Meanwhile, up front, looks like, is that Brandon Shelton taking a ride around the track?
I believe Shelton did get the lucky dog there. But what I'm looking at here is some differing pit strategies. Jason Landry, he stayed out here along with Eric Gambrill and Michael Sara. Everybody else on the lead lap has come to pit and potentially put on their last set of tires here for the race. And let's see what Kyle and I don't think he fixed that damage there, Mean Gene. I think he just, let's see what he did. He was only on pit road for 10 seconds. That was right sides.
So different strategies being, maybe it wasn't as bad as we thought, the damage to that car. Maybe he got in there. And, yeah, but you know, sometimes the timer tells you got 10 seconds worth of damage and you think, I'll ignore that.
We'll see.
Maybe it's just cosmetic. It's just cosmetic.
Yeah, we'll see how that really works out for him. I think everybody else that pitted there took 4, so you see Medina 4 tires. Going on back, Volpus 4 tires, Jared Kelly, same. So pretty much everybody else on the alternate strategy. Now the things I want to note here, some of these guys that took the wave around, they still have a set sitting in the pits here. Kevin Kyle, he didn't pit under the last caution because he was a wave around car, so he still has a set of tires left. Ricky Mandela Sr., he still has a set of tires left after taking a set here. So these guys here, of course, as well, Stephen Neal should have a set left as well. Same with Sam Milliken and Matt Schofield. All those guys should have a set of tires left after taking the wave around last caution and not putting tires on.
Ooh, so these strategies could come into effect. 18 laps remaining here at Kansas. So we're going to see how that transpires. Up front, though, top 3 cars all running on older-esque tires. The 4th place car of Lynott just took 2 and might have some left rear aero damage on that spoiler. Have to see how that affects him as they move in. First truck car that is definitely in good shape, that's going to be David Medina. He got the 4 freshies. He just took the fresh tires here on lap 131 on that caution. Everybody has fuel to make it to the end. Joe Vulpes running right next to Medina. And then this is where it gets fast. Kelly, Modric, Kyle, Mandela lining up. Here we go into the restart zone. Landry leading him. Oh, late start gets the rookie. Poor Gambrel left out to dry. Gambrel, though, going to cut it down to the apron in front of the 27 of Sarah. 5-car length lead for Landry as he brings it out of turn number 2. Then it's Gambrel. Lynott making use of the outside. Got Medina, starts to pull away. Now he's side by side with Sarah for 3rd. Lynott trying to use the outside. The pack is finally catching up to Landry, but he's pulling out off turn number 4. Landry going to lead 134. Only 16 laps here, Joe.
Yeah, and I don't really know how those 2 tires and 4 tires are really going to work out for these guys. Right now, they're not making up the kind of time I thought they would. Kyle Lynott is still just about 4.5, 5/10 behind Landry and still has to get around another car. Look at the 3 wide going on behind him.
Oh, it's getting spicy. Look at Kelly in the middle with Sarah and Vulpes. Then David Buell and Modric coming into the picture as well. Joe, I just heard on the radio, Gambrel's crew chief is telling him, don't let that car by. This should be spicy. Gambrel being told, block Lynott. Don't let him by, fight for 2nd.
Yeah, it's going to be a really, really difficult fight.
Especially look behind him.
Yeah, David Medina right behind him. And then you got a battle for 5th is really on here between Kelly and Vulpes. So right now those guys that took tires, they're not really making it work to this point.
No, and that is pretty much a great story for Jason Landry. He's got a car on older tires behind him, being instructed to fight like the devil. Lynott wants to get by with his 2 tires before they break down. And then there's Medina with the 4 freshies. He peeks down below Gambrel. Gambrel continuing to roll that outside lane. Lynott looking down low. This could be it. Lynott might sneak by the rookie here, Joe. Oh, yeah. Look how close they get.
Very, very tight race in there. And there he goes. Gets clear of him. Now it's going to be David Medina's turn. Can he make this move happen fast?
7 laps to get by the rookie driver, and now Lynott has a much more difficult obstacle in last year's champion, Jason Landry. Medina in 4th also wants to get by the rookie, and he's got Joe Vulpes behind him. Then Jared Kelly, Modric, Neil, Sarah, Kevin, Kyle. Lots of big names. I think we're seeing, though, Gambrel starting to fade those older tires now that he's behind Lynott. No clean air. I think we might see that 8.46 of Gambrel start to fade.
Yeah, and looking at cars that are fading, Kyle Lynott starting to really close in that gap on Jason Landry. It's getting tighter and tighter, under 0.3 of a second now. He may be a couple corners away from being able to make a move.
6/100ths of a second faster was Kyle that last time, but now he is creeping up. Landry trying to use as little track as possible to maintain that lead, but you know Lynott, wherever you go, he's going to go somewhere else. Loving that high line, but with the only 2 fresh tires on that last pit stop, I think Lynott might be a little bit more conservative, trying to make them last to the end. 0.3 of a second now separating the ignition point driver from that 988 of Lynott. Lynott led so many laps at the opener at Kentucky, led the most laps at Charlotte, and now here today, can he close the book and pick up his first win of season 14? Only 10 laps to go before we find out Meanwhile, Gambrel still holding off the charge of Medina. Wouldn't that be a story for the rookie? Oh, and no sooner do I say it, Medina looking at the Lynott line to sneak by the Gambrel.
Yep, he's going to make that pass look very easy, but it might be too little too late for Medina, who's a second behind Jason Landry, and still needs to get around Kyle Lynott as well.
15 cars on the lead lap. Still plenty of track to go as many side-by-side battles unfolding here in front of us here at the Rock Chalk 225 live on the Vortex Racing Network. Lynott still 0.3 of a second separating them. Joe, is it too late? Lynott only took 2 tires. That last lap, only 0.3 of a second, 3/100ths of a second faster was Lynott.
I don't know, he closed in a lot there on corner entry. You might be able to get something going here if he's able to just keep it going. As, oh, I think we just saw contact.
Oh, and there it was, Kelly in Gambrel making, oh, it's still going. Look at Milliken thread the needle. David Owens, you can't park there.
We have a caution.
Oh, don't hit Modric. Look at, there's the 13 of done.
And that was rough.
Wow. This caution brought to you by Todd Dunn. He didn't cause it, but he paid for it. Thank you, Todd.
Take a look and see what started this one.
All right, so. Oh, my.
Side drafting gone wrong, I believe.
Side drafting gone wrong. Thank you for that one, Sean Walton. Let's see here. Yeah.
David Owens almost able to clear this all.
Owens goes through it. Oh, in contact, David Owens.
Oh.
Oh, and then Rick Medina, Stephen Neal. That was 50% of the Animal House Custom team. Unfortunate. Look at that.
Oh, some netcode there between the 17
that was
and the 3.
Oh, golly
my
gee.
goodness. Oh, and then here comes the 2, and there's the 84, and there's just a whole bunch of contact. Let's go take a look at what started it again. Yeah, it just looks like side drafting gone wrong between the 55 and the 846.
Yeah, that's the tough call right there. Kelly passed Gambrel, and then Gambrel was on that outside lane and had momentum and went past Kelly. Kelly tried to take Gambrel up high and deny him the entry into that next turn. And then it just looked like so many times we've seen with these aero packages, when that guy gets next to you, your car just kind of pulls up, and we see Kelly's right front make contact with the left rear of Gambrel, and then the huge melee occurs, taking out half of Animal House Customs. Looks like Gambrel's still rolling, is going to be able to get the repairs done on that car. I'm hearing on the radio. They should be fine. Jared Kelly, on the other hand, not so much. Contact with Gambrel, and then the wall, and then contact with Owens might be the end of the day for the double nickel.
Yeah, I think it might be the end of the day as well for David Owens, as you alluded to there as well. Stephen Neal looks like he's getting as much damage done as he can get. He's going to be able to leave pit road, so he'll stay on the lead lap. Other guys that we saw involved in that wreck, Sam Milliken, he's in 5th place right now, so he's running just okay. Brandon Shelton in 6th. They feel like their cars are going to be fine to the end. Looks like Ricky Mandela in 8th is going to stay out and try and limp this thing to the finish as well. I think he's feeling pretty okay with what he's got left. So pretty much it looks like Owens and Kelly are going to be the really big losers out of this wreck.
Now, what about big winners? There's only a few laps left. We're going to have 3 when we go green, but Kevin Kyle gets to put that last set of tires on. So does Sarah and Gambrel. So 9th, 10th, and 11th now get that fresher set of tires. Will that 14-lap tire difference matter? And with Landry at 120, that's 27 laps of wear on his tire. So interesting to see if Kyle, Sarah, and Gambrel can move forward. And even more so fascinating, will Landry hold off the charge of Kyle Lynott?
Well, we're about to find out. We're going to have a 3-lap shootout to the finish here. We'll see if taking tires was the race-winning strategy or staying out was as we come towards the Geico restart zone.
Oh, I need my inhaler. Here we go. We're into the restart zone, keeping an eye on Landry. Away we go. Gets a little bump on that outside from Volpus. Gets him a good run. Landry now to a 3-car lead. Then it's 1-car Lynott. Side by side, Medina Volpus. Medina Volpus. Volpus going to go high. Medina going to stay low. Look at the momentum of Volpus. Gets blocked by Lynott. Lynott now pushing in second, trying to keep Volpus by. Volpus gets to his quarter, and now Volpus on the outside trying to get the speed of the outside lane momentum, but more dirty air from Lynott blocking. Landry loves it as he's going to come around and lead 148. 2 laps to go here at Kansas.
I think he's going to be able to just aero block his way to the win at this point. You can really control that air. I would assume at this point the tire advantage that they had for pitting when they did is gone at this point. We talked about that earlier, Mean Gene. The tires plateau after a while. I think Landry got through that phase and he's going to be able to hold on here.
Got him a nice 5-car lead as Medina and Lynott do battle. Medina looking down low is ahead. Lynott loses it on the apron into the wall. He's backwards, but we're on the last lap. No caution. We're staying green. Landry with a 4-car lead over Medina has to feel good. Volpus in third, Milliken. Kyle and Gambrel making use of the tires up to 5th and 6th. But the story is Jason Landry pitted on 120, made use of the arrow, feeling good, feeling mean, feeling like he's victorious here at Kansas. Jason Landry with the win.
What a finish. What a great job by Jason Landry to play the strategy to his advantage. Stayed out on those tires. He didn't think it was going to work, but he made it work. What a great job. Able to hold off the charge of David Medina. Comes up just a little bit short here today. And Joe Volpus, very consistent to start the season. 3 races, 3 third-place finishes for him.
Mr. Podium, that is a great start also for his team. Has to be excited. The guy I'm worried about, though, how about Kyle Lynott? He just got a little bit loose down on that apron, ends up slamming him up into the wall. Kyle Lynott taking a mean hit there, ends up dropping him from second, third, heck, from winning contention, finishes off in 13th. But there he is, the 56, punches his way into the playoffs with that victory. Jason Landry, he won the championship in season 13, and now here he is ready to make a title defense in season number 14. As you said before, you can see it on the board there. Medina finishes in second. Great run by the Fokum driver. Joe Volpus gonna finish in third. Kevin Kyle, what a great day for Kevin. Would have loved for it to have been a little bit higher, but Kyle has to be thrilled with that 4th place here today. Sam Milliken, our race sponsor, gonna finish up in 5th. Great run by Sam in that number 17. Eric Gambrel, best finish of his career, all 2 races, gets 6th in the 846. Brandon Shelton, 7th. Matt Schofield, 8th. Michael Sarah gonna finish 9th. Ricky Mandela brings it home in 10th. Teammate Stephen Neal, 11th. Brenner into 12th. And Lynott, after that terrifying wreck, gonna finish 13th.
Yep, and then you get the guys that couldn't get back on the lead lap, finished 2 laps down. David Buell will get 14th out of today's race. 15th will go to Zach Clausen, good top 15 for him. Jose Medina recovers from his early troubles to finish in 16th. Jake Ashea, we saw him have a little bit of trouble as well, especially in the middle part of the race. He finishes 17th. Paul Ferdiani, tough break for him today, had a really fast car, ends up finishing 18th, 3 laps down. Looking further on back in 19th was Todd Dunn. Great job by him in order to complete most of the laps, avoid most of the wrecks, and get a top 20 out of it here today. Jared Kelly, we saw his race end in that wreck on lap 144. He finishes 20th, along with David Owens and Rick Modric, who both also DNF'd from that wreck. They finish in 21st, 22nd. Believe Jax Duvall also DNF'd on that wreck. He finishes 23rd. 24th went to Tommy Fox. We saw him have a bunch of damage at points in this race, just not able to really get anything going today. 25th will go to Tim Darby. We saw him involved in a few wrecks as well, and he took pretty much 28 laps to get everything fixed. So not a good day for him. He's looking to show off that speed a little bit more, hopefully in the future. We saw Malarkey quit at the stage break. I'm not sure really what happened there. He finishes 26th. And then Mark Dumont, Jerry Rose, both out on the first incident of the race on lap number 2, end up rounding out your field here today.
Well, the more things change, the more they remain the same. Rose, with 9 DNFs last year, has 1 after just 2 starts this year. Next week, we're going to be at Dover. That ought to be a great opportunity for guys to have a lot of fun on that short track. So, Joe, it looks like we do have somebody we can chat with. How would you like to chat with Mr. David Medina?
Yeah, that sounds very good. After we chat with him, I do have a statement to read from your race winner here today as well.
Oh, my. All right. Well, I think I got your man right there, Joe.
I am here.
Awesome. David Medina, second place finisher here today. Showed a lot of speed over the course of the race. Once again, just kind of ran out of time there at the end with the tires.
Yeah. I needed a few more laps for the tire temps to come up where they needed to be, and it's the downside of taking tires late. You got to wait a few laps for the tire temps to come up, and Jason's tire temps were already there, so I knew that was going to be an advantage for him. And he did a phenomenal job. Had damage early on, and was able to work its way back up in the field and use strategy to get up there. So congrats to him.
So of course, it looked like you had a pretty good car all day. A little bit of strategy going on there when that long green flag run was happening. You were one of the longer guys to go, especially for those guys up towards the front of the field. Were you concerned if the race went green on making it to the end without having to pit again?
Yeah, there was a little bit of concern there. I was going to try and save some fuel and stuff, and stretch that run out, but it didn't play out that way. But that was the plan. Try to get back up close to the leaders, follow them, and save some fuel until they pitted, and then try to stretch the fuel out.
Awesome. So of course, you're closing in on the points lead here as well. You're making up a lot of points. You and Fulcum teammate Kevin Kyle right now are both on the heels of Joe Volpus. So I know we're coming up on some more technical tracks than some intermediates. We got Dover next week, I believe. So how do you fancy your chances going to a bit more of a technical track next week?
I'm liking it. I do like Dover. It's always a fun track, but it's also a track you can't make mistakes with the walls on both sides, and somebody else makes a mistake and you can get caught up in it pretty quick. So a lot of things can happen pretty quick. I think being towards the front is going to be important, just to try and avoid some of that. But it'll be interesting to see how the tires hold up on that track.
All right, Mean Gene, I'm going to hand it over to you if you have any more questions for our man, David Medina, second place today.
I don't, David. I want to congratulate you, though. That was a little bit scary, especially the last fuel strategy that you had. Was there a part of you that started to worry about the other drivers being able to push it that far? You pitted, what was that second to last pit? It was around 90,
99 coming to 100.
Yeah, 99 coming to 100. And Joe was talking about guys, if they could make it to 102, that could theoretically be their last start. 99, that is the line between I stayed out too far and I can't make it to the end. Were there concerns, or were you waiting for a caution? What was your mindset in that area?
Well, if you do what all the leaders do, you're going to be following all the leaders. So I wanted to do something a little bit different and, kind of stretch out my fuel and see how the cards played out. Having the win in your end and having that win, I think allowed me just to kind of play that a little bit to my favor and see how it would play out. So being able to take a little more risk, knowing that I'm already locked into the playoffs.
Well, I was a little bit nervous out there, but once that second caution came out, and then it was just a matter of chasing him down. Now, I noticed you had the kid gloves on Gambrel. You saw Lynott make aggressive moves there to get by him on that final restart. Was there just you were being a little more cautious there? Why didn't you just put the rookie in the wall?
Yeah, I really haven't raced with him, very much. So trying to get a feel for, how he runs his lines and stuff like that. There was a few times where I thought I had the inside, and then he would, kind of come down running his line. So I kind of figured out that was his line. So I just had to find a different way. I was just trying to be cautious of it. Didn't want to wreck his car or my car. So just being patient and trying to find which lane was going to be and when to try and make a pass.
Well, it ended up being a good move. It took longer than I imagined that you would have liked, but now that you know what he's up to, I have no doubt we're going to see quicker moves out of you. Great run today, though, as you said earlier, winner at the opener of Kentucky. So you're into that playoff. Anybody you want to give a shout out to here today?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to you guys up in the booth. Appreciate what you guys do. You guys always do a fantastic job. It's always entertaining to watch your guys' broadcast. So thank you very much. Also want to thank David Owens, who helps out on the admin side. Appreciate him as well as Matt Schofield. Appreciate those guys on the admin team, and then all the drivers. Appreciate them showing up week in and week out and making this league as fun as it is. And then I want to give a shout out to my teammates, especially Kevin Kyle's having a phenomenal season already this season. Really consistent, putting up some finishes, and the same with Brandon. So good folk showing. Appreciate all the work those guys do.
Nice. There he is. That is David Medina, your winner of Kentucky. Second place here today at Kansas. Can't wait to see how the rest of the season goes for you. Have a great afternoon, David. Great run. Thanks for the show.
I appreciate it, fellas.
Now, Joe, you got a little piece of paper right there burning a hole in your pocket, don't you?
Yeah, so I'm going to try and get my eyes focused here so I can read this. All right, so this is a statement from your winner today, Jason Landry. He was not able to join us in the booth, so he just wanted to send over a little blurb for me to read out as the interview. I'm trying to work on something in the future for these. I'm gonna break character here for a second. I'm working on something in case this does happen in the future to try and make it better for us to get interviews done if they can't stick around for after the race. So I am working on that. I just want to let everybody know about that. So I'm going to read Landry's statement after winning the race here today. So he said, "That was a fun race. My strategy was to stay out as long as possible and then pit without taking tires for the stage. But with all the yellows, it made sense to pit and go to the stage break. Unfortunately, I got loose and into the wall. We saw that Mean Gene on about lap 25 or so, where he says he got into the wall breaking his steering, so he had to repair the car. We saw him pit many times to repair the car there in the first 50 laps of the race there as well. So luckily, there were more cautions, so I was able to get it fixed up. After the stage break, it was just about being cautious and slowly making up positions. The dirty air was really hard to make any moves, so I decided to be bold and pit early and get the undercut on everyone, and it worked perfect. Ended up 3 seconds after the pit cycle in front of course, oh my goodness, I can't get my words out. Of course, in front of Owens, and then Owens started catching me, so I was just waiting till he caught me before I jumped to the pits again. But the yellow, of course, then we saw that yellow come out for Jax Duval there on lap 119. So he said the yellow came out again just as he caught me. So from that point, we were on the same strategy, but he had the track position over everyone else. So Lynott went flying past on the second lap after the restart, which caught him off guard, actually, and he had to work really hard to get back around Lynott. So coming with 20 to go, we saw that next caution come out where it really split up that strategy there, Mean Gene, and he said it made it really difficult for him to make a decision. He said in the end he chose staying with the lead and the track position, and hoping that any of those cars that were in between him and the fresh tires were going to use their dirty, get that dirty air effect going on that would really hold them up and make it hard for them to get through. And he said that turned out to be the right call. On the last restart, the lane choice was key to the win. He knew that giving Medina an advantage by restarting on the inside, putting him behind him, would have sealed him the win, as he would have been P2 quite quickly and caught me and passed. So I chose to stay ahead of Volpes on the top side, hoping that Linot, Volpes, and Medina would fight hard to be the one to pass me for the win. And I just watched them in my mirror and put the dirty air all over them. Really hard race, but super fun to win based on strategy calls. Yeah, we pretty much saw that play out with him all day there, Mean Gene, right? Where he was in that first half of the race, he got loose, hit the wall, had to fix all that damage, and then he was able to come back after getting the car fixed, take over control of the race by short pitting, get the caution at the right time, and then play the track position game to the finish. So we saw it just work out very well in his favor. He did have some people he wanted to shout out as well. He wanted to thank his team for Jared Kelly, Paul Ferdiani, for always keeping him company and helping with strategy calls. Obviously, thanks to us up here in the booth as well for the broadcasts, and to the admins of the league to keep things going strong. So that's Jason Landry, your winner here today at Kansas.
Jason Landry punches his way into the playoffs and moves up 8 spots to the 10th position for the regular season championship. Also, Ignition Point Racing is going to be in third for teams. Looks like a two-way race, a three-way race, actually, for the championship in team points. Folcom, Gulf Coast, last year's Duelers, and Animal House Customs up there as well. So those three going to be fun to watch as this season continues to unfold.
I can pull that up for you so you can actually see it real quick.
Oh, you got teams?
Yeah, there you go.
Look at that. Folcom up top now with a nice 22-point lead over Animal House Customs Racing. Remember, Animal House finished 5th last year, so those additions revamped that roster, and Rick Mandela's got them boys up into 2nd, breathing down the neck of Folcom. Behind them, you can see Gulf Coast Racing, 40 points back of Animal House, and 53 points back, 63 points back. Someone can't do math without taking off their shoes. 63 points back of Folcom. But they do have a firm lead on those incident points, so we'll continue to watch that as well. Ignition Point, they got a 1-point lead over Pony Up Motorsports, and a 6-point deficit, though, in the incident points versus Pony Up. Not bad considering they have 2 less starts. 7 Motorsports Euro Speed Racing also on the board. Teams battles going to be fun this year, but those top 3 ought to be fascinating as this year progresses, Joe.
Yeah, we're going to see how it plays out. Some really bad luck for Gulf Coast to start the season. Them having a little bit of infighting as well, especially last week at Charlotte, giving up a lot of points in these first couple races, really showing just how much it's important to be working together as a team. Folcom doing it the best to this point here to start the season, winning 2 of the 3 races to this point. But Animal House Customs is shown to be the true underdog out here, only 22 points back. If they can continue their consistent runs, they may, in the long term, find a way to overcome just the juggernaut wins of Folcom Racing.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see how that continues to work. Animal House, I mean, today, Buell finishing 14th was their lowest finisher. Neil Mandela, 10 and 11. So good to see that effort. But as you said, Folcom, look at that. Medina, 2nd. Kevin Kyle going to finish in 4th today. Brandon Shelton brings it home in 7th. Jake Shea, 17th. So that's just a powerhouse team. That is the Red Bull of the Sunday Premier Cup Racing. And we'll see if those other teams, they're like McLaren, all of a sudden Animal House is fast. We'll see what McLaren Animal House can do in their chase. And never count out Ferrari either, we'll call We'll call Gulf Coast Ferrari for now. Hopefully Ferrari 2 years ago, not Ferrari. Not Ferrari this year. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap us up for today. What a great show here today at the Rock Chalk 225, sponsored by Sam Milliken. Sam, thank you so much for your support. And ladies and gentlemen at home, thank you so much for joining us here today. It's been a pleasure to bring you this broadcast. We will have racing all week long here on the Vortex Racing Network. You got a little bit of the Bonfire Premier Cup here tonight. Tomorrow, even more Cup racing, as the Monday Night Mayhem series will be live at 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern. And then we're going to roll into Trucks Bonfire, coming right back at you with the Big Truck and Tuesday series Tuesday night. More trucks on Wednesday. DDI continues their playoffs. And then the Thursday Thriller on Thursday. 5 nights a week live here on the Vortex Racing Network. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the show. Hit like, hit subscribe, tell your friends and neighbors about it. We're heading out on behalf of myself, Mean Gene Money, my broadcast partner, Smokin' Joe, our sponsor today, KU Rock Chalk, Sam Milliken, KK Woodscapes, all the admins, David Buell, David Brenner, David Medina, everybody named David, Chris Morrill, and Matt Schofield, our sponsors as well, Todd Dunn for cautions, and Sim Racing Nation for the Pole Award. It has been my absolute pleasure, and as always, ladies and gentlemen, bottoms up and hammer down.